Hello.
Yes, sir.
Do you have something to ask before I move towards text? Yes. Anything? And I need some of you to open your camera. Two, three, four, five, seven, six, seven girls, students, in fact. Let's do it and let us do the wasteland. And I think I should proceed further. And if you have something to ask, you may ask later on as well, isn't it? Okay, great. So we were doing this aspect, which yes, we were doing, as I said, the first important line of the poem, that is really the coolest month, right? Then we were doing a heap of images where the sun beats and the dead tree gives no shelter, cricket no relief, only stone, rock, and no sound of water. Yes, this is what we are talking about. We were talking about in terms of the West land. And now we are going to talk about another intruding voice, another different voice, uh, which is taken from, which is taken from one of the very famous operas of Richard Wagner. Richard Wagner, Tristan and Isolde. Tristan and Isolde, right? Tristan and Isolde, one of the operas of very famous German Richard Wagner, and we have this fragment, German fragment, and this German fragment, without the audacity to read this, because I can't read German, so I don't want to make fun of myself. If you know how to read German, you are most welcome, right? So please do it on your own. I'm simply going to talk about the English translation of this German extract, and this English translation reads that it says that wind the wind the wind blows fresh the wind blows fresh to the homeland. The wind blows fresh to the homeland. My Irish girl, my Irish girl, where are you lingering? My Irish girl, where are you lingering? Right? Now, this, as I said, one of the operas of Richard Wagner, talking about the love story two, between two, Tristan and Isolde. Tristan and Isolde. Tristan belongs to England. Story time, please listen to me carefully. Tristan belongs to England, and he happens to be a nephew to the king, the then king Mark. The then king Mark, of course, the medieval time, the medieval age. Now, King Mark is in love and is going to marry a girl from Ireland, from Ireland, and her name is Isolde. Her name is what? Isolde. Now, King Mark Tristan, appoints his nephew Tristan to go to Ireland and bring the girl back. to England. Bring the back girl to England so that he may solemnize the marriage. He may solemnize the marriage. Now he has gone to Ireland and is coming back to England from the ship. And in between, while their sojourn and stay in the ship from Ireland to England, they both fell in love. They both fell in love. It means nephew has fallen in love with the would-be wife of his own maternal uncle, right? Now the story is lengthier and thought he is known to the rest of the world that see he is in love with the girl who is destined to marry the king himself, and now he is imprisoned. He is what? Imprisoned. He is under big shackles and chains and manacles, right? This is the backdrop. This is the background, right? This is the backdrop. This is the background. What is the implication of this? We shall unearth this while doing the poem. Yes, Prachi, read the poem. Please, you
Okay, sir.
one part. Yes.
Yeah. You gave me hyacinths first a year ago. They called me the hyacinth girl. Yet when we came back late from the hyacinth garden, your arms full and your hair wet, I could not speak, and my eyes failed. I was neither living nor dead, and I knew nothing. Looking into the heart of light, the silence, owed only das mir.
Just wait. At least you tried to do the German part. Thank you so much. Yes. So the story is now revealed to you between Tristan and Isolde. And now the first line says that you gave me hyacinth. What is hyacinth? A flower. Yes, na? And in Greek mythology, mind you, we are talking about the burial of the dead. Yes. And in Greek mythology, Hyacinth was a god. He was a god, right? And out of his burial, the place wherever he is buried, white flowers sprout, white flowers bloom, white flowers come out, right? So in that way, hyacinth becomes the symbol of what? Fertility, incarnation, reincarnation. It becomes the symbol of what? Regeneration and rebirth. Yes? Am I clear? Hyacinth? Try to understand the implication of this hyacinth in the life of these two people, these young people. So, before I proceed further, just so far, whatever you have read about Eliot in terms of ethics, in terms of moralities, in terms of values, would Eliot approve the relationship between Tristan and Isolde? Would he endorse this?
No, sir.
No. Very good. Right? Yes. And let me ask you a simple question, though the question is very complicated. And I know nobody is going to answer this question except me. Have you ever been in love? See, I said nobody will answer. So I was in love once upon a time when I was you. And I can remember the kind of, uh, I may be doing something wrong out of telling my own love story, but I won't be going to details, be sure, right? So I fell in love and understand, and I can still recall the impact of that first meeting with the girl somewhere. I won't let you know the place, right? But whenever I read these lines, and yes, you are all open to interpret the way you like. Eliot is the one who talks about ethics, who talks about morality, he talks about values, and he talks about healthy, unadulterated, you know, a relationship, and he would never ever accept the very process of falling in and falling down and sinking in and sinking down affair between these two, that is Tristan and Isolde, right? Now, Isolde, as I said, in a prison, chained. So he's all waiting for his love to come one day, as if he's a man of forlorn state, dejected, isolated, disappointed, in the chains, waiting for his lady love to come one day, and merely coming of her would liberate him, would make him happy, would make him happy. But it doesn't happen. That's why he says, "Na, the fresh wind blows homeward, my Irish girl, where are you? Come to me, come to me." The very first German stanza in that way, right? So, but I was talking about the impression of the first love, which is necessarily do not in that way, but somewhere it's physical one. It's physical one, physical attraction in that way. So try to understand the implication of this, and try to understand the lines which reads that you gave me Hyacinth first a year ago, without the value of regeneration, without the value of rebirth, without the value of fertility, which we traditionally imply as far as the hyacinth flower is concerned. Second thing is that, and then they called me the hyacinth girl, ironically. They called me the hyacinth girl, as if in Hindi we have a very famous lokokti, आंख के अंधे नाम नैन सुख. It's very famous lokokti, आंख के अंधे नाम नैन. Try to understand the deeper ironical implication of the poet as far as this episode between Tristan and Isolde is concerned. Now he says what? Yet, when we came back late from the Hyacinth garden, your arms full and your hair wet. Come into the garden mouth. You can remember one of the love poems of Robert Browning, and again you can go for two in the Campagna if you remember, right? So come, then what? Your arms full and your hair. Hair is the traditional symbol of fertility, symbol of fertility, but hair weight, a kind of sensuousness, a kind of sensuous perception. A hair, your hair weight. I could not speak. I could not speak, as if the lover is utterly in awe of the beauty, of the physical beauty of the beloved. I couldn't speak, and my eyes failed. It's a kind of intoxicating impact, intoxicating influence. I couldn't speak, and my eyes failed. I was neither living nor dead. I was neither living nor dead. In between. It's a kind of famous, as if hemlock I had drunk. Hemlock I have drunk. Nowadays, they are going for ganja, afim, and charas, right? So, yes, the beautiful ladies of the Bollywood are, they are using Gaza. So it's a kind of defamiliarization, Anyway, so irrespective of that context, I couldn't speak and my eyes failed. I was neither living nor dead. I know nothing. I know nothing. I know nothing. Can you talk about these lines in terms of after effect of love impression, after effect of love exchange between two adults? Can we talk about this in this way? Please. We have said,
Yes, sir.
and don't compel me to sing any of those because my voice is very bad and you shall simply disenchanted with those beautiful Kumar Sanu and Alka Yagnik songs in that way. You can go for that 90s song and you can well na aankhon mein need nan mein karar. I don't know what. I've forgotten. हेलो. अच्छा कोई कुछ बोल भी तो नहीं रहा है यार.
Yes, sir.
लोग हंस तो जरूर रहे होंगे. नहीं. पर्दे के पीछे हंस रहे होंगे हाँ कि सर क्या क्या कहते जाते हैं और लेकिन कोई बोल नहीं रहा है. Anyway, so look at these lines and I would like you to focus on what? Neither living nor dead. Let us be serious for a while. Neither living nor dead. Isn't Eliot from the very beginning? From the very beginning means from the very epigraph, while talking of Sibyl of Cumae. Is he not talking about this situation of living in death and death in life, life in death and death in life? What do you think? Neither living nor dead,
Yes, sir.
neither living nor dead. Would Eliot accept this? Being a Catholic, being a devout Christian, being a traditionalist, would he accept this statement of somebody? Look, I am neither alive nor dead. This is what he is talking about. People are actually living a lifeless life. Life in death and death in life. And this is the motto of the poem, West Land. And those, according to this idea, then, the very love exchange between Tristan and Isolde is impious, is impure, and is against the ethical laws. Right? Against what? Ethical rules. Why should they fall in love? The girl should have remembered her prescribed marriage. The girl should have remembered her future possible husband. And the boy should have remembered the relationship. He's actually falling in love with whom? With his own would-be maternal aunt. With whom? With his own maternal aunt. Isn't it illegal? Isn't it illicit? Yes, it is illegal and it is illicit, and so are the after effects. I can't speak. My eyes are failing. I'm neither living nor dying. It happens in sensuous love. It happens in that. Had it been replaced by spirituality, at least according to Eliot, you would have been living. You would have been living. Had you led a pious life, had you led a pure life, had you led a life based on spiritual awakening, this situation might not have occurred. the situation between Tristan and Isolde, right? So what he says, living nor neither living nor dead, and I know nothing. What is this thing? You are a human being. How can you say I know nothing? Somewhere Eliot has written, it is better to do evil than to do nothing. इससे अच्छा है कि आप बुरा काम कर लें, बृहस्पति की आप कुछ भी ना करें. अरे मैं तो कुछ भी नहीं कर रहा हूं. हाउ कैन यू लिव अ लाइफ ऑफ इनएक्शन? It is better to do evil than to do nothing. This is what Eliot has written, right? So, neither living nor dead, and I know nothing. I knew nothing. Looking into the heart of light, the silence, and then German fragment, which means desolate and empty sea, waste land. Desolate and empty sea. What is that? The waste. The wasteland first. In the previous stanza, we were talking about that in terms of broken idols. That is there, a kind of relation where we could see the pagans broken, and then Christian, and then Old Testament comes, Judas, right? And here we have the classic example of what? Illegal, illicit love, sexual relationship. Sexual relationship between these two, and that is what? Is this love affair, will this love affair culminate into something grand? Will it be like John Bunyan, the canonization, sainthood? Will they attain sainthood? No. They have simply broken the norms. They have simply brought a kind of breach in the basic fabric of relationship, where they have simply blown away. They have simply blown away the kind of relationship that is ideal, that should have maintained and that should have carried out. But out of their love, out yearnings, they just did something which they must not have done. That's why this is just one example. Don't worry, we have plenty of examples which Eliot himself has recorded in this poem, The Wasteland. This is only one example. Love making process that is here in the Westland 20th century, which is totally unacceptable. Totally unacceptable. And that is one of the reasons behind this modern Westland. Am I clear? Yes? Tell me.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Right? Next stanza. कौन कौन देख रहा है? दो देखे
So,
उसे
should I?
पढ़वाएंगे. हाँ पढ़ो. Yes, do it.
Okay. Madame Sosostris, famous clairvoyant, had a bad cold, nevertheless, is known to be the wisest woman in Europe. With the wicked pack of cards, here, said she, is your card, the drowned Phoenician sailor. Those are pearls that were his eyes. Look, here is Belladonna, the lady of the rocks, the lady of situations.
Just
Here
wait,
is
wait, wait. Just wait, wait. Yes, Madam Sosostris Aldous Huxley, in one of his books, Chrome Yellow, talks about a male figure. Talks about what? A male figure who impersonates himself as a woman, right? Huxley, in his what? Chrome Yellow, talks about a male figure who impersonates himself as a female, and the name is Sesostris. The name is what? Sesostris. And there, he and she, they are typical tarot card readers. Tarot card readers. Clairvoyant. Have you been to any of these tarot card readers? Tell me, be honest. Have you been I mean,
No,
not
sir.
necessarily card readers, those Kundali, the interpreter of Kundalis. Huh? Tell me my future. Tell me what I'm going to do. Tell me, will I get married soon or not? Will I get a good husband? Will I get a job? Will I do this? Will I do this? Not. I don't know what. Okay. Yes. Anji.
The
No,
not
sir.
by choice, but maybe due to family.
Oh, anyway, this is the site of that. This is the site of that where Eliot is making fun. Is making fun. And what else can you expect from Eliot except making fun of those who are trying to be demigod in the form of fortune teller? I mean, the kind of personality which we have so far conceived about Eliot, would you approve any of these fortune tellers? Certain cards are lying on the ground, and he has a parrot, Tota, and parrot is sitting on one of the cards. And as you have seen in cinema, I hope, and then the parrot flies, and the Babaji picks up that card and he does something. He reads that and he says, Baba, Bacha, this is your bhavish, this is your future. Would Eliot approve this? Would Eliot sanction this? The answer is no. So he says, as I said in the beginning, he is making fun. He's having a mockery, I mean, disdainful attitude, a kind of mockery towards these tarot card practitioners. And one like this is Madame Sosostris. And this Madame Sosostris has reportedly has also been modeled on a very famous Russian magic woman, Madame Blavatsky, who was deeply interested in occult and magic, which Eliot himself did not like. Are you getting me?
Yes, sir.
Hello, are you there?
Yes, sir.
So, Madame Sosostris, famous clairvoyant, had a bad cold. Had a bad cold. Nevertheless, is known to be the wisest woman in Europe. What is your perspective on cold when you sneeze and cough? Do you like it? Jukam, sardi, nazala. I think this is one of the worst infection, because you can't breathe properly, you can't taste properly, you can't eat properly, you can't sleep properly, you can't drink properly, you can't sit properly, you can't sleep properly, isn't it? Your senses are blocked in a way. And in spite of this blockage, she is known to be what? Wisest woman in Europe. Who? Madam Sosostris, maybe aka Russian occultist, Madam Blavatsky. Madam Blavatsky. Am I clear? Yes?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
With a wicked pack of tarot cards. Do you play cards? ताश ताश
Yes, sir.
दिवाली पे खेलेंगे, आएंगे, दिवाली आ रहा है, खेलेंगे आप लोग? नहीं खेलेंगे? ताश में कौन कौन सा होता है पैटर्न खेलने का? कार्ड में क्या क्या खेलते हैं आप लोग? अरे बोल
Sir,
आओ।
sir bluff खेलते हैं.
हाँ देखो देखो, मुझे पता है। गुड, थैंक यू सो मच। समबडी एल्स? कोई बात नहीं, ठीक है, मुझे भी नहीं पता, क्योंकि जब मैं बड़ा हो रहा था तो मेरे पिताजी ने कहा कि ताश खेलना गंदी बात है, तो मैंने ताश नहीं खेला, मुझे खेलने भी नहीं आता। बट आई हैव सीन एंड आई वॉच माय फ्रेंड्स प्लेइंग कार्ड्स एंड मेकिंग रफ स्केच एंड देन दे नोट डाउन द पॉइंट्स, एंड देन दे मेक द विनर। दोज हु हैव द हाईएस्ट पॉइंट इज द विनर, द वन। एनीवे, tarot cards. Tarot cards, is taken from this the golden bow, and there Fraser records that in ancient Egyptian civilization, tarot cards were used. Tarot cards were used, but limited to. Tarot cards were used, but limited to what? To know the fortune of common human beings? No. To know the time of the rise and fall of the Nile River. So yes, as Fraser says, that in ancient Egyptian civilization, tarot cards were in practice, were in vogue, right? Only to know the rise and fall as far as the water level of river Nile was concerned. Because the water will decide the kind of fertility, the kind of fertility, the kind of prosperity, the kind of happiness that will be there in their society. Through tarot cards, they used to do this. But in due course of civilization, tarot cards came out to be something else. Initially, there were 22 cards only, 21 plus 1, whereby 21 were based on certain figures, numericals, and virtues and vices. The 22nd figure was left blank, or what we call today fool or joker. Later on, this number increased to 78. Now, the holy practice of ancient Egyptian civilization, which was there to find out who it was there and to what extent it was scientific, we don't have to believe, we don't have to go for that, because it's a mythical structure, it's a mythical belief, right? So whatever the case, but the case was the what? That they took it as a kind of apparatus to know the state of the water of the river Nile. But later on, in due course of civilization, they said, it changed its color, it changed its meaning, it changed the scope. Now people play cards in terms of uh, monetary beatings, and some people play cards to make their time pass. Some people play cards, as Madam Sosostris is there, to talk about the future as a fortune teller. Fortune teller. Am I clear so far?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Now,
sir.
now, yes, thank you. Now, with a wicked pack of cards, look at the choice of the French words. Wicked pack of cards. Eliot might not have meant wicked pack of cards to the ancient Egyptian cards, but certainly he's using these words, this phrase, only to refer to the kind of practice which modern Westlanders are doing in 20th century. So with her wicked pack of cards, here said she, here said she is your card. Here said she is your card, the drowned Phoenician seller. The drowned Phoenician seller. The drowned Phoenician seller again occurs in James George Fraser's The Golden Bough. And Phoenician seller, Phoenician, the territory, the regime is today's somewhere Syria and famous Lebanon, where in the month of September there was a August perhaps there was that big blow, right? Beirut. So modern day Lebanon and Syria in that way, they were being referred as Phoenician in ancient times, right? But in ancient times, Phoenician seller was the symbol of fertility, symbol of rebirth, symbol of regeneration. Fertility, symbol of regeneration, symbol of rebirth. This is also being suggested through the lines in the bracket, which refers to Shakespeare's The Tempest, one of the extracts of Ariel's song, which says that those are the pearls that were his eyes, referring to the regenerative power, resuscitating power of what? Water. Rebirth, regeneration, transformation into something new, which Alonso became later on, if you remember the play, The Tempest. Is it possible? Whatever I've been talking about in terms of Alonso, in terms of Shakespeare, in terms of Ariel's song, in terms of Phoenician seller, in terms of rebirth, regeneration, fertility, are they possible in Westland? The answer is no. Ironical commentary, ironical perspective. So, what Phoenician sailor, what kind of place the sailor occupied in mythical narratives, and think about the role of him in one of the tarot cards, wicked pack of cards. Excuse me. In the wicked pack of cards of Madame Sosostris in the modern West land. Did you get the implication? Now,
Yes, sir.
now, here is Belladonna. Here is what? Belladonna, the lady of the rocks. Belladonna. In ancient Greek civilization, belladonna was supposed to be a poisonous plant, and its extract was being used to decorate the pupils. You know, pupils? Look at my pupils, they are nowhere, lost, right? So they were being used to decorate the pupils, oh my God. Yes, now here is belladonna. Belladonna can also be a modern woman symbolizing femme fatale, F-E-M-M-E, femme, fatale, F-A-T-A-L-E, femme fatale, which means a seductress, a temptress, okay, femme fatale. It's an archetypal figure, archetypal terminology, which talks about women of low moral values, low moral standards. And what are they? They are like temptress, they are like seductress. And what are they? Like Belladonna, the lady of the rocks, maybe Mona Lisa, mystery woman. And women have always been, they have been mystified. I don't know with what. You know it better than I do. Mystified. We'll talk about this mystification later on when we have enough time to discuss this. So be it Belladonna, be it Lady of the Rocks, that may be Mona Lisa, right? I don't know why are they after this painting. Why are people so obsessed with her smile? And then allocating her all the mysteries, you know. Anyway, let us leave it for some another day. So here is Belladonna, the lady of the rocks, the lady of situations, the lady of situations. Certainly, seductress, a temptress, and what not. This is there in one of the cards, one of the wicked pack of cards, as Madame Sosostris is there, and this is being looked upon in an ironical way by T.S. Eliot. Am I clear so far?
Yes, sir.
Shahina, Shandil, Shruti, Pritha. Yes, tell
Yes,
me.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Where is she?
Yes, sir.
Are you people there?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes,
मैं
sir.
समझ में आ रहा हूं.
Yes, sir.
चलिए, बड़ी खुशी की बात. कितना बजा अभी समय. Thank you. Yes. Here is the man. Here is the man with three steps. Three steps. This line refers to Miss Jessie Weston's book From Ritual to Romance. And this refers to the Fisher King, which I spoke in the very beginning of the class of the Wasteland. The Fisher King, a biblical king who was impotent, and due to that, there was the wasteland, isn't it? So this, here is the man with three steps. It refers to the two legs and one stick in the hand, without which he can't walk. He can't walk on his own. He has to take from somebody. He has to take help from somebody else in that way. It has many more meanings, and one of the meanings now it will become complicated. If you wish, you can talk about this in terms of Greek mythology, and Greek mythology of that famous Sphinx, which we have in Oedipus the Rex, the same Sphinx which poses riddles in front of the Oedipus himself, and then he becomes entitled to marry his own mother. Okay, that's different connotation. But I would like you to stick to the reference of Fisher King. 3 steps refers to what? What do they refer to? 3 steps refer to, first of all, 2 legs, and third one is what? The stick, which one is holding in one's hand to make a proper walk. Here is the man with 3 steps, and here the wheel, WHEEL, wheel. Wheel is the wheel of dharma, Dhamma Chakra Pravartan, Buddhist philosophy. Dhamma Chakra Pravartan. And this wheel you must be reading if you are reading the way Murder in the Cathedral. Is it there in that play, verse play? In what context?
Wheel of Time, sir.
Wheel of time. Good. Wheel of time. Passage. Passage. That is cyclical in that way. That is recurrent time. Right? Yes, very good. So, and here the wheel. It can also be the wheel of fortune. Wheel of what? समय का पहिया जब चलता है तो राजा रंग बन जाता है या रंग राजा बन जाता है, हैं? समय बहुत बलवान होता है. मैं काल हूं. महाभारत देखा होगा आपने, दिया चोपड़ा वाला, नहीं? जो काल बोलता है, वो गैलेक्सी वाला जो आता है, चंद्रमा अंद्रमा सब हिल उल रहे हैं, तो उसमें बोलता नहीं मैं समय हूं, मैं समय हूं. और मतलब क्या है कि समय एक जैसा नहीं रहता. इट कीप्स ऑन चेंजिंग, इट कीप्स ऑन मूविंग. So this is what he is meaning by that. So here the wheel, and there, sorry, here is the one-eyed merchant. One-eyed merchant. One-eyed merchant refers to one of the Smyrna merchants. Smyrna, yes, MYRNA. In ancient times, it was a part of Greek civilization. Smyrna merchants. And the name is Eugenides. It's not Leonidas of 300, the rise of warriors. Eugenides.
So can you type
Everybody
the
has
definition
2
of
eyes.
Eugenitis?
तुम लिख लो, मेरा कीबोर्ड काम नहीं कर रहा, तालिका खोजना पड़ेगा. EUGENIDES. Clear?
Yes, sir.
EUGENIDES. Eugenides, right? A Smyrna merchant. But how many eyes he is having? दो आंखें 12.
One.
So he is having 1 eye. Yes, na? And how many eyes we have? 2 eyes here physically. This is not complicated question. Don't think too much. And don't think of Shankarji. Because look, sir, Shankarji has 3 eyes. Okay, let him have. Huh? I have no problem with that. So we have two eyes, and the concept is these two eyes represent two things. These two eyes represent two things. The first eye, irrespective of its position, left or right. The first eye, or one of the eyes, represents religion. One of the eyes represents what? Religion. And the other eye represents money, business, finance, profit, loss, merchant. Yes, at the moment you get into money, finance, profit, loss, you close your other eye. The eye of
Religion.
religion, the eye of ethics, the eye of morality, the eye of values, the eye of principles, the eye of everything which should have been given prominence, which should have been given more importance. But in this wasteland, people are giving more importance to money, economics, monetary affairs than to the religion. That's why one-eyed Smyrna merchant. One-eyed Smyrna merchant. Clear? Hello?
Yes, sir, it's clear.
One-eyed, you don't have a next class, na? So can I?
Yes, sir, the next class we have at 3.
Ah, great. But I will be going slow, don't worry, right? I shall be taking the time which I usually take. I won't be making myself faster than I am not supposed to be. Anyway, so one-eyed merchant and this card, which is blank, is something he carries on his back, which I am forbidden to see. Joker, fool, blank, no meaning. It has no place at all. It has no significance at all. And this card, which is blank, and what is something he carries on his back, which I am forbidden to see. A blank card. I mean, we have the card of Phoenician sailor in different context. We have the card of Belladonna, the Lady of the Rocks, and the Lady of Situation in different context. We have the card of three steps. We have the card of the wheel. We have the card of one-eyed Smyrna merchant, and we have this blank card as well as it has no meaning at all. And then we have what she says. I do not find the hanged man. And this hanged man has two clear-cut allusions, two clear-cut, distinct allusions. Hanged man. The first hanged man is a pre-Christian. That is, again, Fraser's The Golden Bough, which talks about the process of hanging the god, the effigy of hanging gods to bring in fertility, rebirth, and regeneration. hanging man, a hanged man. The effigy, not the actual one, effigy. And second one is Christian, which talks about the hanging of Jesus Christ, the crucifixion of Jesus Christ. Am I clear? The hanged man, which he didn't find, which she didn't find. Because the wasteland has nothing to do with the implications of the hanged man, either in pre-Christian civilization, goats were being hanged, effigies were being hanged to be the harbinger of what? Hope, optimism, positivity, life, fertility. And also we don't find, as we have already seen, one-eyed is made a merchant. The eye of religion is no more. The eye of Jesus Christ is no more. We have hanged them, both of them, literally. Literally, we have hanged them. Christ was hanged, Christ was crucified to bring a new dawn, to bring a new wave, to bring a new message. Yes, no? But had we been continuing with the messages of Christ? The answer is the answer is no. Huh? I do not find the hanged man fear death by water. We have this separate movement, that is the, I think, penultimate one, fourth one. So it's reference to that. We'll come to that later on. Fear death by water. I see crowds. I see crowds, people walking round in a ring. I see crowds, people walking round in a ring. Thank you. Crowd, hooded hordes, mass, multitudes of people, millions of people. Life in death, death in life. Thank you. If you see, dear Mrs. Equitone, tell her I bring the horoscope myself. One must be so careful these days. One must be so careful these days. I think the last one is more than clear. One must be so careful. These are the dangerous days, right? But try to understand the overall implication. The kind of tarot cards Eliot has written about, what were their implications in the past, once upon a time, and how in the altered historical scenario, the whole implications are gone to the wind. What they stood for and what are they standing for in the contemporary times. This is to be understood. This is to be highlighted, and this is what Eliot is talking about. Through Madame Sosostris, Mrs. Equitane, and all of them have to be careful these days, because these are dangerous days. Why dangerous? because they are more prone towards physical pleasures. They are more in the pursuit of happiness, youth. They are more towards in the habit of accumulating more wealth and money, and they have no time for spirituality. They have no time to think about God. They have no time to give a call to the spiritual yearnings of the soul. They have killed him. If I can say soul, him. Let me better say it. They have killed her. That's why one must be so careful these days.
Sir,
Ah,
sir, what does walking around the ring suggest?
this is the general flow of the mass, general flow of the common people, human beings. है ना? This image will become more clear when I shall be going to the next stanza. Please wait for some more time. Okay, Prachi?
Yes, sir.
Any query, bhai? Please.
Sir, and also this line when she says, which I am forbidden to see. So why does she say so?
Because of the limitation of the knowledge. Because try to compare this statement, this line, with the second line of this paragraph, stanza, third maybe, where she is supposed to be the wisest woman in Europe. She is supposed to be what? In spite of the cold, she is supposed to be the wisest woman in Europe. And here she says, I am forbidden to see. Maybe she doesn't know the real implication of the whole of the cards. She doesn't know what do these tarot cards mean? What did they mean? And she has been misusing to make her to deal with certain profits and gains and in other sorts of affairs in that way. She is not forbidden to see. In fact, it shows, it connotes her limitation. And this is starkly contrasted when you read the initial lines of this stanza, where she's supposed to be what? The wisest woman in Europe. And she can't see. Getting na? Just try to see how and in what way Eliot is underscoring the very attempt of being a demigod and of being a demigod, and then in turn revealing the unseen, revealing the invisible, and revealing the things which might happen in near future. In near future. This is the limitation of occult, magic, clairvoyant, palm readers, kundali makers, and kundali matchers as well. Kundali matchers. हमारे आपके यहाँ बिना कुंडली की शादी नहीं होती है, हैं? और 32 या 36 गुण मिलने चाहिए. हमने कई शादियां देखी हैं कि 36 गुण 36 मिल गए, अब 35 मिल गए, 32 मिल गए, जितना भी शुभ होता हो. इसके बावजूद या लड़की जला दी गई, या आत्महत्या कर ली, या घर छोड़ के भाग गई, या पागल हो गई. इसके बावजूद ऐसा होता है. शायद आपने भी सुना होगा. शायद, आई एम नॉट श्योर, बट I have seen, I have not so personal, but in a way, I have seen this. 32-33 गुण मिला, शुभ है, बहुत शुभ है. क्या शादी होगी, राम और सीता की जोड़ी कहलाएगी. हाँ, और राम और सीता के 2 लव कुश भी हुए 3 साल के अंदर. और एक दिन पता चलता है कि लय राम नाम सत्य है। लड़की ने जहर खा लिया, लड़की ने आत्महत्या कर ली, और उसका राम चला गया जेल के पीछे। कुंडली कहां गई? आर यू गेटिंग माई पॉइंट?
Yes, sir.
चलिए, am I clear so far?
Yes, sir.
Unreal city. Unreal city is taken from Charles Baudelaire. Charles Baudelaire, a very important 19th century French poet who popularized symbolism in the later half of 19th century. This unreal city is taken from Charles Baudelaire, which he referred to Paris. And here it can be London, it can be Jaipur, New Delhi, it can be Hathras, Hyderabad, Banaras, the city of your own choice, the city where you live. Unreal city. Unreal city under the brown fog. Under the brown fog of a winter dawn. Smog. I think of smog now. Polluted, pollution, difficult to breathe, difficult to survive. Huh? Yes, no? Smog. Anyway, so unreal city under the brown fog, hazy, not so transparent, unclear reason. Under the brown fog of a winter dawn, a crowd, winter, the season of winter kept us warm. Huh? First stanza, winter kept us warm. Anyway, under the brown fog of a winter dawn, a crowd flowed over. Rachis, think about the question which you asked. I see crowds, people walking round in a ring. Walking round in a ring, and try to
Yes,
understand
sir.
these lines. A crowd flowed over London Bridge. Flowed over London Bridge. The famous kindergarten poem, London Bridge is falling down, falling down. Okay? And then so many, I had not thought death had undone so many. And this line refers to Divine Comedy. Divine Comedy by Dante. And these lines are there in the episode of Inferno, Hell. Inferno, Hell. Dante had to imagine Inferno, and for Eliot, Inferno was there right in front of his eyes. Where? On the London Bridge. In the form of what? Crowds of people walking around in a ring, or crowd flowed over London Bridge. What is the meaning? I will let you know, don't worry. So, I had not thought death had undone so many. So it's when you read Inferno, or when you read a reference to that, the poet talks about how he goes to the Inferno and there he sees so many dead people waiting for their number. तेरा नंबर आएगा जैम तारा वाला, right? Waiting for their turn to get an entry, to make an entry in the paradiso, in the paradise. But the question is, I had not thought death had undone so many. So many of them are living like a death, living like a dead people, living like dead people. They are living in a kind of dead world. Dead world, and he says what? And what they do? Do they talk? Do they laugh? Do they smile? They sighs. Short and infrequent were exhaled. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
What did you prefer? You have a group of 10 people, 30 class, 30 people class, 30 students are sitting in a classroom. They are not talking, they're not laughing, not smiling either. They are simply sighing, short, infrequent exhaling of breathe the air. Is that all right? Are the class vibrant, talking, walking, sitting, turning upside down the bench and the chair, and the teacher comes and settles the chair and then sits and then sits down? What will you prefer, the first or second?
The second situation, sir.
सेकंड भाई, ऑब्वियस ही बात है यार, जिंदा लोग हैं हम लोग, हैं? जिंदा हो ना? तो but what Dante notices, he notices size, shorts, and infrequent exhaling, indistinct talk, indistinct chatter. No, I mean, it's the kind of wail, it's the kind of lamentation which is beyond words. And this is precisely the wasteland. This is precisely the wasteland. Why? 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 Just why? Because and fixed, each man fixed his eyes before his feet, cadaverous march, like a zombie, a dead man walking like that. I mean, if I'm walking on the road in the college, I'm not looking at girls, I'm not looking at my friends and students and colleagues, I'm simply looking at my feet while bowing down my head, and don't notice it when the college reopens. Okay, so and each man fixed his eyes before his feet, flowed up the hill and down King William Street to where St. Mary Olnoth kept her hours, with the dead sound and the final stroke of 9. Just wait. This scene, first of all, unreal city in terms of Baudelaire while talking about Paris. In terms of Eliot, it can be London, right? And for you, it can be so other things in that way. Now, then he refers to what? Dante's Divine Comedy, Inferno, Hell, and try to understand the similarity between the hell of Dante's Divine Comedy and the hell of the mortal land that is here in the wasteland in the wake of the First World War. Okay, first thing first. In the Dante's dead world, in the hell, as I said, there was the rain of scythes, swords, and infrequent exhaling. Right? No life. I can't breathe. I can't talk. I can do nothing. Remember the lines which we just did in terms of Tristan and Isolde. Yes, remember that. Keep that as well in your mind. And think about 20th century wasteland when at the stroke of 9, what is the standard timing of these commercial buildings, commercial offices? 9 to 5, isn't it? 9 to 5. This 9 is important because 9, it was the ninth hour. It was ninth hour when Christ was crucified. It is there, right? Jesus Christ was crucified in the ninth hour. It means at 9 a.m. Okay. And in the modern Westland, at 9 a.m., people of London, of France, Paris, of Bangalore, of New Delhi, of Chennai, of Hyderabad, it's raining bitterly over there, so I can't talk about it right now. But this is the time when people suited, booted, with a hat in London situation, they all walk towards their offices, talking to nobody, saying hello to nobody, and everybody is in a march, is in a line, is in a queue to the office at the ninth hour while killing Christ. After killing Jesus Christ, they all moving towards office to earn money, to deal with financial affairs, and calling themselves successful. One must be so careful these days. Did you try to understand the link between Dante and the wasteland of Eliot? Ninth hour, the time when Christ was crucified, and 9 o'clock in the morning, our offices open, our corporate offices open, bank offices open, usually. And people from their home with their burdened psyche, burdened mindset, they all move towards office to make more money while killing Christ, while killing spirituality, while killing religion. One-eyed Smyrna merchant. In the same fashion in which Dante talks about the scene of Inferno, the scene of hell in his celebrated Divine Comedy. Am I clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Think about the implication. Then he says what? Down King William Street. It's a place. And while passing what? Saint Mary Ulnath. While crossing churches, while crossing parks, while crossing the big statues, crowd of people. I didn't think that death has undone so many. They all move towards, they all make a cadaverous march, they all make a corpse-like march towards their offices in utter silence, in utter sighs, exhaling, inhaling the breath, talking to nobody, living so-called mechanical, robotic, disciplined life. in the modern West land. At the ninth hour, one-eyed Smyrna merchant. Winter kept us warm. Look at all the implications and try to understand what is the message of the poet. Tell me, hello? Hello? Am I audible?
Yes, yes, sir. We can hear you.
Tell me, did you understand something?
Yes, sir.
Anybody else?
Yes, sir.
Anybody's query, please come up now. I'm waiting for your response here. Hello.
Excuse me, sir.
Are excused, bhai? Huh?
Sir, does the brown fog here refer to the industrialization also?
I was just talking to Smog. Anna? Yes, na? Did I?
Yes, sir.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
So when I said smog, what does it mean? Pollution, carbon dioxide, smoke. Yes, na? So
Yes,
the
sir.
smoke either comes from the industries. Okay, na? So this will have to relate. But brown
Yes,
fog
sir.
means what? Visibility, non-clarity. Okay, na? Pollution, corruption, not only in the environment, but also in personal ways of living and surviving as well. Yes? So let's try to understand the past and what is happening in the present. Okay? Yes.
Yes, sir.
Ah. Anybody, please come up.
Sir,
So far, you might not. Huh, huh.
the ninth hour suggests that in the London or in the station, wherever people are moving, are going to office, they are already
Hmm.
dead inside. They are already dead inside,
Obviously.
and they are just living the
Obviously.
life.
Obviously. Hmm.
They are just living the life as a animal, and they have lost their life in short of his their happiness and their uh, purpose.
Inner meaning of life, right? Soul, heart, spirituality, metaphysical essences, something that is beyond mundane perception. They have forgotten that at the ninth hour, and they all have become one eyed Smyrna merchant as they have put an end to the eye of religion, eye of morality, eye of ethics, eye of spirituality, and eye of metaphysical essence. That is why he's talking about that ninth hour. Good, very good. Yes, you said right. Okay, आगे बढ़ें. चलिए, last stanza again. ओह, आगे गए आवाज, पानी मांग रहा है गला। देखते हैं, लेट मी डू इट। ओके। हाँ, yes. There I saw. There I saw one. There I saw one I knew and stopped him. And stopped him, crying, Stetson. It's a name. Stetson, you who were with me, you who were with me in the ships at Malay, that copse you planted, important image of a copse, please remember this, that copse you planted last year in your garden, in your garden, has it begun to sprout? Will it bloom this year? Or has the sudden frost, winter, brown fog, frost, or has the sudden frost disturbed its bed? Malay, M-Y-L-A-E, Malay. It refers to ancient Punic War. Punic, Punic, P-U-N-I-C, Punic War, which was fought between Rome and Carthage. Rome and Carthage in 260 BC. Malay refers to war between Rome and Carthage, Punic War, which occurred in 260 BC. Okay? Am I clear?
Yes, sir.
Now, don't go for the literal meaning of the word, the process of the process, the way he's talking about that that crops you planted last year in your garden. Can anybody plant crops? Can you plant crops? Literally,
No,
no.
sir.
But metaphorically, yes. Yes, na? Be it dying gods, be it hanging gods, right? Be it the planting of Jesus Christ and his dead body. Yes, na? Metaphorically, is it possible? It is possible, no doubt. But the question is, the title of this chapter is The Burial of the Dead. And we have taken a long way round to come to these lines, which literally and metaphorically talk about the burial of the dead, while referring to that crops you planted last year in your garden, has it begun to sprout? Will it bloom this year? Or has the sudden frost disturbed its bed? At this juncture, let me take you back to one of the Gospels, Saint Paul. Saint Paul, right? I think we should stop now. And I think I am right because it's going to be a little hectic. What do you think?
Okay, sir.
Ah, now I think it's okay, na? I mean, I must understand that you must be in the position to receive whatever I convey to you. So we shall meet tomorrow with the same passage and the second movement of the poem, Game of Chess. Okay?
Okay, sir.
You may
Thank you.
back at home, and if you have any query to ask tomorrow, we'll readdress them first. Then we shall proceed further. Clear? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, then thank you so much for today, and we shall meet tomorrow at the same time. Tomorrow we shall. Okay. Okay, then. Bye bye. See you. Take care.